This is WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana, and you are listening to Count It Out. Arriba!
Listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Well, we are live, pals, and once again, right here on the Bill After Seal of Approved Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. Tyler's taking another sabbatical, and once again, we are joined by Adam Contant, the Adam Contant who is not impressed with my intro whatsoever, and of course, Mr. Matt Sukram. What's your problem down there?
I'm not impressed that Tyler's taking another week off. I mean, come on, man.
I'm impressed that you won't have to redo your intro this time.
I never have to redo it because he refuses to edit it anyways, so. Well,
you were looking for the record button at the beginning instead of at the end.
And this is a cool one. Because this is the start of a very long trend I'm going to be doing over the next probably year to year and a half. I want to eventually get down to doing a list of the greatest WWE pay-per-views of all time. But in order to do that, you can't just jump into that list. That's haphazard. We need to cut it all down. We are doing 7 lists of 7. And then when we get down, we're going to take those 7 number ones and find out what really is the greatest WWE pay-per-view of all time. Now, I say 7 lists of 7 because we're going to cut a couple years out. We're going to start in 1990 because I'm telling you right now, there's nothing in the 1980s is going to make my top 7. All right? Anybody who wants to sit there and tell me that WrestleMania 3 is in their top 7 greatest fucking pay-per-views of all time is high, and I know you're high, Adam, but that doesn't mean that WrestleMania 3 is even a top 7 WrestleMania, let alone a top 7 pay-per-view. So the 80s,
there's no argument there, but I mean, how dare you leave Survivor Series 1989 off your list, sir? Come on.
Of top 7 of all time, I don't know. Maybe there'll be like a wild card thing to go back to some of these ones that got missed, but we'll see. But we are doing today 1990 to 1994. Now, we're not doing this all, like, I'm not going to come back with the next one next week, whatever, because this takes a lot. You guys know, Adam, I don't know how much you watch, Matt, but Adam, you dove into this. So you know how much there is to watch. And in 1990, there was, from 90 to 94, there's only, 22 pay-per-views. Wait until we get
to,
well, compared to the late 90s into the 2000s when there's a pay-per-view every single month.
Not to mention when we get into the modern age where there's a pay-per-view every 2 weeks.
Exactly. So at least here it's easy. When we get farther, it's going to get harder. So we are going to span this out. We're going to do this every few months or so, and then eventually get to the very end.
This is the counted out story arc episode.
That's it.
Where you have to watch every week. We're not going to talk about it every week, but every once in a while we'll get back to it. You're going to have to be like, "Oh, I watched that one. I know what they're talking about."
Is the villain origin story.
That's right.
Funny you say having to watch every week. Right on our social media, we told you need to watch this show every week, and you need to watch especially this show right here on Thursday if you want to know the big announcement we're making for Rumble for the Jungle Gym coming up in June 14th. We told you we were going to announce a match right here on the show. So here it is. We've been bragging that we were able to sign the 4 members of Mano Po to Rumble for the Jungle Gym. What we didn't tell you is who they're facing at the show. 4 nice individuals they're not nice at all. Three people who gave us a headache at last year's show have went and found a friend, and they're coming to put an end to the Manopo party. The four people who have teamed up to go against Manopo on June 14th in Belgrave, Ontario, will be as follows: Kyle Boone, his soon-to-be wife-to-be Shiloh, Stratosphere, and the misunderstood Clay Wilson.
Well,
these four have come and they said flat out that Manopo's having too much fun on the indie scene and they're going to put a stop to it on June 14th.
I mean, if you're certainly looking for a group of people who will be a thorn in the side and the pain in the ass of any popular team, that's a pretty good tandem.
And this is only a few days away from the actual wedding of Kyle and Shiloh. And we're hearing there might be some gifts exchanged at this show. We know nothing about it. We're just hearing rumors. I'm scared. I don't know.
You tell them to keep that stuff in the back, all right?
That's exactly
I don't care
it.
I don't care if they're newlyweds, all right? This is, and I don't care what you've heard about Mike's previous shows. It's a family-friendly event this time around, all right?
This isn't Counted Out After Dark. Or is it?
But it almost was.
It almost was. Speaking of the Belgrave show, June 14th, of course, the tickets are right there in the description box underneath the show. Doesn't matter where you listen to, YouTube, Spotify, go hit your tickets. There's still some available. You're not going to want to miss this show if you haven't been paying attention to our social medias. The Counted Out Cup has been completely put out there. We know who it's going to be. You're going to see Pretty Ricky Wilde versus London Lightning. You're going to see Rajan Husher versus the hot stepper McRae Martin.
That's my pick.
You got KPK's Ahmed taking on the high flyer Deja Vu. And of course, the incomparable Johnny DeLuca as he takes on the amazing Wanda Del Rey. The four winners from these matches will go on to the main event of the show in a fatal four-way for the Counted Out Cup. You're not going to want to miss this, guys.
I love how you guys are doing this tournament. I'm a big fan of tournaments on indie shows, but sometimes 6 matches? Would that be 6 total? 4, then semis? Oh, that would be 5 matches total, right? 5 can get a little long, especially if you want to put on other stuff on the card.
Exactly. You want to get everybody else
matches,
in and asking some people to work that much.
Asking someone to work 3 matches is a lot. So I like what you've done here. Mm-hmm. And then it's also it's different, right? You're not seeing 5 one-on-one matches. You're seeing 4. How many? 4 one-on-one matches
and a fatal 4.
Wow. See, it's hard for people like me that aren't even at the show to remember how many matches there are.
So at the
That's
show,
why you gotta follow the social media.
Right.
Exactly. So at the show, you got 4 one-on-one matches, a fatal 4-way, an 8-man tag, and on top
whatever
of
the hell the Wrecking Crew is gonna do.
And the Wrecking Crew. By now, I'm not saying it right yet. I think by now it'll be on social media. It may not, but a team has accepted the offer from the Wrecking Crew. If you haven't seen it yet, go to social media. It'll be out there. It's going to be pandemonium. Pandemonium, I say.
God bless the poor souls. Cheers to them for taking on such a fool's errand as to try and step to the Wrecking Crew.
All right, guys. So, list time. Adam, you always come prepared. I know you've been watching these shows. I know you've been doing your work. You got something. Matt, you're just the cheerleader today. What's going on with you?
I watch some stuff.
That's good.
But I don't have a list.
And you know what? I didn't expect either one of you to. I didn't give you that much notice. I only gave you like 4 days notice to watch 22 pay-per-views. I said flat out, neither of you have to come with a list. Within an hour, Adam's like, I've watched everything.
Yeah, so, I don't know how he did that. Like I scrubbed through a couple of shows and then I put together some notes based on other people's list of things from this era. So I've got some background.
So before we
That's
get
all
into the
you're
list,
gonna get from me,
I'm
though.
going to start with you, Adam. I have a question. Did you find this list more difficult than you expected it to be? And rewatching some of these shows that you may have not seen in a while, did anything surprise you?
I will say that there were things that I had forgotten about
Sure.
that I rediscovered watching some of these back. And while I don't think the list itself was difficult as a whole, certain spots became difficult, and there became some very tough choices when it came to the sum of the parts versus the whole of the show, if that makes sense.
The hardest part for me was deciphering a one match or a 2 match card.
That's what I was going to say next. There are a couple of one match shows
100%. And it happens to be that one match on the show is one of the greatest matches of all time, but one match a show does not make.
Agreed.
Yes, sir.
How did you?
The gentleman with the very sharp looking haircut in the back.
the tan gentleman. Yes, sir.
Well, I was wondering. Wait. Oh, you meant? Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry. I've been spending a lot of time in the sun, so you know.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're gonna have to be more clear than that.
Mike Clark says no tan, no booking. So getting that in that machine. Sorry, Matt. You say your piece, sir?
Did you give yourself like a grading system for that specifically in terms of matches versus show quality? And then what did you also factor into like what makes the pay-per-view as a whole great? Is it just the amount of matches? Is it the storylines? Like how did you
just like any pay-per-view I watch, was it able to hold my attention through the whole show?
Okay.
And I'm gonna say right now, out of these 7, probably only 2 were as a whole was able to do it. Funny enough, it's my number 1 and my number 7, and I'll explain that when I get there. Because I'll explain when I tell what my number 7 is, but it's because the number 7 was good all the way through, but not a single match is memorable. If I say, do you remember this match? You're not going to. None of it sticks in the ethos of time, where some of these 1 match, 2 match cards, they do a little bit more, so they may have gotten a bit of an edge of a spot.
Can I throw something out there?
The order was very difficult for me. Yes, Adam.
I would like to just maybe get you to tip your hand a little bit and ask, how many 1 match shows are in your list?
None. I had.
Wow.
There's a 2 match show, but my one actually there's 2 match shows as far as I'm concerned. We'll probably argue about that. Okay. I had a 1 match show, and it was heartbreaking to cut it off my list, but I did what I had to do.
I bet I know which one you're talking about too.
Here's what I'll say about that though. If the list is pay-per-views, the best pay-per-views of this era, you do have to weigh in. Does the 1 match make a pay-per-view?
And sometimes it could. And
it could, but in this era, maybe it didn't.
This one that I cut originally was in my top 3. Because,
holy crap! Okay.
Well, because here's what I think: if you're a 1 match card, that 1 match better be one of the greatest matches of all time, and it is. But then some of all the parts starts to weigh it down and weigh it down and weigh it down and weigh it down, and unfortunately it gets knocked off because I really need to talk about another show.
Matt looks like he's thinking about something.
With that said, gentlemen, let's get to
you might
fun.
freak out later.
Just a sidebar. Did you guys see the latest episode of Chris Van Vliet?
Oh, yes, I did. Will Sasso?
Will Sasso and Dan Hoder together.
Yes, that's right. The greatest. That was so good.
That is today's Mega Powers. It's
Yeah.
so good. It's one of the greatest podcasts I've heard in a very, very long time.
Did you, you know what? I'm not going to rehash the bits. We'll talk about it off camera, but we'll have
Yes.
to spend a few minutes talking about
We
it.
could do a whole thing on that.
To
One
the
of the best
listeners, if you
bits.
haven't, I don't usually show other people's podcasts, but I love CVV. If you haven't listened to that episode, go and do it. Do yourself a favor. It's very, very, very funny.
And he's literally a friend of this show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I mean,
is.
that's true. He is a friend
Very-
of the show, so
Yes,
it's
he is.
okay.
All right. As usual, I am a gentleman, so guests go first.
Go ahead, Matt.
My number 7. Let me see here. Hang on. I don't have one.
I have
like I said, I've got
Starcade.
notes. I've got notes about these pay-per-views. Oh, I only did WWE.
Yeah, us too.
That-
yeah,
and
it's a
that's- and-
WWF/E pay-per-view list. It's
Because
okay.
as I was
And
reading
that-
through and doing notes,
And that was the joke. Yes.
I skipped a bunch of WCW stuff, and I was like,
No,
wow,
because honestly, I think that's a whole other list. That could be done. That's a whole because honestly, because that is an era. 1992 WCW is one of my favorite eras in wrestling.
there were a lot of 92 WCWs on a lot of other lists, and I was like,
that could be
do I watch
that could be a list on its own. I could do a top 7 1992 WCW, just it, you know. So no, it wasn't fair to put WCW in here.
Everybody
Another quick
hates on
sidebar.
the Bill Watts era, but honestly, he did a lot of good stuff during that time too,
Really
and I
did.
think people forget that.
And I think as another sidebar, 1997 might be a solo year as well for WWE. Like
97 and 92 are my 2 favorite years in professional
There you
wrestling, and we're probably going to hit on that today.
all right, I'm gonna start. WrestleMania 7 is my number 7.
Hey, look at this! Listen to that. And would you like to explain why?
Not at all. You go.
Because it has the number 7 in it. I bet WrestleMania 6 is number 6.
I bet you can't tell what number 5 is. All right, Adam, what's your number 7?
I made a change to my number 7 today. I had this list written up over the weekend, but today I decided to make a swap because although I think the number 7 is probably a better pay-per-view overall, I've decided that no matter what I put here, I'm probably going to take some heat. So instead, I'm just going to go with one of my favorites. You've heard me talk about it on this show. You've heard me talk about it on my own network. You know what it is. It's got the greatest tag team match of all time. It's got the best Bret Hart match of all time. We're going to the Palace of Auburn Hills in suburban Detroit for SummerSlam 1993. As I recall, during the Bret Hart list, I tried to put forward the case as to why SummerSlam 93 is an underrated and great card. And by the end of my own rant, I kind of figured out it's actually not really a great card. It's about half a good card, which it is. And I will fully admit it's on here because of personal love. This is a homer pick for me, but I do also want to say, I do think this is a pay-per-view worth seeking out, if only for both the Bret Hart Jerry Lawler match, which I think has some of the best storytelling and Memphis style booking that you could ever appreciate. And yes, I'll say it again, the Heavenly Bodies versus the Steiner Brothers is a tag team classic. And then you add in really like solid matches like the Razor Ramon Ted DiBiase match. I even like the 6-man tag with the Head Shrinkers and Bam Bam Bigelow versus Tatanka and the Smoking Guns. Cowboys and Indians living together, mass hysteria. Yeah, okay, the Yoko Lex Luger match isn't great, and it's kind of like a fart in church to see everybody celebrating with Lex Luger like he won the title when he wins by freaking count out.
Yeah.
It sucks that
It's
like
so weird.
Like Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler and that Steiner Brothers tag match is on the same pay-per-view as that.
But then but I'll take that if it means I get Mr. Perfect and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So number 7 for me, it's a heart pick, but you know what? I want it on here because I want to show it some love. and I'm hopeful it will encourage some people to go out and give it a shot, give it a chance. Just
I'm definitely not judging on heart picks. I might have one or two on here. I had to let go. My honorable mentions are nothing but heart picks. And I'll pull the curtain back on one of them since you're talking about SummerSlam. SummerSlam 1994 wanted to be on my list so much for a lot of the same reasons that you just talked about. Number one, that cage match is fucking amazing, but then just all the other stupidity that's on it just makes me smile, and that it's 100% a heart pick, and that's why I let it go. But I get why would you have this. It's not on my list, but I understand why it's on yours.
It's the first pay-per-view in WWF. There's something in this tea.
he took the sleepy time
He
tea.
sure did. First pay-per-view in WWF history that didn't have either Hogan or Macho on the card.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I'm bringing
now,
stuff to
now
this
we know
show.
why Matt's here. He's the trivia guy.
That's
Matt
right.
we're gonna call you Matt the Stat from now on.
Oh, I
Love
like
it.
that.
With the stash.
So my number 7, as I alluded to, this is one of the two cards on this where I can watch from beginning to end and enjoy the entire thing. Here's the thing: this match has, I believe, this card has, I believe, 9 matches, and all 9 matches are good. Well, maybe not all of them, but the majority of them are good. None of them are great, but it's enjoyable all the way through. And you guys know me well enough. You hear this, everybody listens to this show knows, what do I look for in my professional wrestling? Storytelling. This pay-per-view told the story from the minute it turned on to the minute, and then the whole thing was a story about one man. And that man went on to be the 1993 King of the Ring.
Man,
This is your number 7?
Yeah, I am shocked, man. I was so expecting this one to be much, much higher on your list. That's crazy.
It started off as number 2. But I started watching
I'll pull
the
the curtain back right now. It is my number 2.
Okay.
That's nuts.
I love it. I find that it doesn't sit in the ethos of time. And again, I'm not happy. I'm happy with the 7 pay-per-views I picked. I'm not happy with my order because
clearly neither are Matt and I.
You just jumble it up, and my order is, I had a very hard time with my order.
Okay, we'll talk about why you do like the pay-per-view, at least, so that we can all talk about how great it is.
Again, it is a story from the beginning to end, and this is what I like. This is one of the pay-per-views that I like to show people. My son and I have watched this whole pay-per-view together twice. It's the only pay-per-view we've watched in its entirety more than once together because we love it so much together. It's just everything about it, telling the story of Brett's rise through the matches, having 3 very different professional wrestling matches with 3 very different wrestlers with 3 very different styles, and then all the other matches that are kind of in there. Because let's be honest, this was the Bret Hart show. This whole pay-per-view was to build Bret Hart as Hulk Hogan's predecessor. That's 100% what this show was, and it did its job. And I love it for the storytelling more than anything else. But like I said, I think there are a lot of good matches on the show. I don't think there's any master classes on this show, which is why it's my number 7, because we're going to be talking about some real master classes later on.
Well, I gotta say, I disagree. I think that one of the great things about this show is that it allows us the opportunity to kind of shine a spotlight onto maybe the forgotten or underappreciated stuff. And I think this is a masterclass lesson, but I think that it is a masterclass in, first and foremost, how to book a show, how to create a star or elevate a guy in one night. And I think if you do look at a match like, say, a Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect 2nd round match up there, I don't know, man. I think it is a masterpiece. I think it's just a masterpiece lost to time. That's my opinion. But
I just think the two have had better matches.
Debatable.
Yeah,
it's debatable.
Yeah.
I also think, like, again, when you're talking about the best pay-per-views and with the goal of this pay-per-view being to build Brett, I just think like they nailed it. They nailed what the intention was of this pay-per-view, and it also got a tournament over, right?
That's
Or,
right.
or,
He
or a
Big
also,
time,
concept,
absolutely.
right?
yeah.
It got a concept over as well, right? So make a star, make a concept.
Do either of you have a match you really enjoyed on this card that didn't involve Bret Hart?
Mr. Hughes and Mr. Perfect, obviously.
I mean, there's someone that lives in my house that fucking loves that match. I'll tell you
I
that.
knew, yeah, I was just doing that to pop Finn.
So here's the thing. I get what you're saying. I will say,
Oh no, no,
I
no! I'm
think
not. This is a question. I'm not. I'm. Not, this is not a statement. This because I have one.
I like the Tatanka Lex Luger match. I think is actually pretty good.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the 8-man tag.
Yeah. Also fun.
Yeah,
Also a fun
big
match.
time. And I love me some smoking guns.
Yeah. Especially
Love me
during
some
this
smoking
era.
guns. All right, so already unpopular opinion, and I'm used to it. It's fine. Let's move on to Adam's number 6.
Well, we talked about one Bret Hart Kurt Hennig match, and now we're going to talk about the one that I think you're probably going to reference as being the better one, because we are now going to Madison Square Garden in the summer of 1991 for SummerSlam. And look, I did not think of this as like a top tier pay per view off the top of my head, but this is one of those cards that upon rewatch, I realized how much good stuff is in here and even a smattering of some great stuff. And when you talk about the great stuff from this pay-per-view, the first thing you have to talk about is Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect for the Intercontinental Championship.
Absolutely.
This is a great match. I personally think the King of the Ring match is a little bit better because I think that
I'm gonna have to watch them side by side kind of thing and decide on that. But yeah.
Here's what I'll say about it. I think for emotion, the SummerSlam match is better. From a mechanical and technical standpoint, the King of the Ring match is better because the SummerSlam match had a lot of emotion with it. It was Bret Hart's first singles championship victory. His mom and dad were in the crowd with a very emotional emotional post-match victory, but Perfect was hurting here. The reason that he had to drop the belt to Bret was because his back was hurting. Shortly after this, he would retire. So, he wasn't in the best of shape. Whereas in 1993, Perfect had time to recuperate. He was back in, working shape, so to speak. So that's all I'm going to say about comparing the two matches. The other things I want to talk about is how great this pay-per-view is from a undercard standpoint. Let's be honest. The main event wrestling match, not great. I don't think it's going to make anybody's top 10 list anytime soon. But look, I will never turn off the jailhouse match between the Big Boss Man and the Mountie. I think that the Macho Man Miss Elizabeth wedding, is a incredible moment in history. I mean, to be honest, like you got to look at how like that was the main selling point for the pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, it was.
What a great 6-man tag to open up the show with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat coming. Look, I know he hated that getup and everything, but my God, what a spectacle it was. Legion of Doom and Demolition finally having their big showdown. Sorry. I think it was LOD and the Nasty Boys. Pardon me.
Yes.
Yes.
My apologies. But still, great to see them win the belts. Like, if there is one word that I would associate with this pay-per-view, it's emotion. This felt like a very big emotional pay-per-view with a lot of emotional highs in it. And even the disappointing moments from the pay-per-view weren't really all that disappointing compared to the high highs you got. This pay-per-view had a lot of Gaga on it, but it's Gaga that really works. It's really entertaining. It's a real breezy watch. It flew by when I was watching it. So this is definitely one of the ones that I went back and I said, yeah, there's no like outside of the wedding, there's no real like iconic moment, but man, top to bottom, this is just all good stuff for the most part. So yeah, I gave it a number 6 spot.
And it's too bad that like the tag team win doesn't seem more iconic because here's your piece of trivia for this one. That allowed the Legion of Doom to become the only tag team to win the NWA, the AWA, and the WWF tag team titles at that time. I believe they've been surpassed, maybe not, but
well,
yeah, it's one of those
the
things.
companies have changed, but the
Yes,
achievement is still the first, right?
yeah, and it's like that's one of those things that should have felt more, probably more celebrated, but it's also like, you know how wrestling works. The only titles that exist are the ones that you're watching on this pay-per-view. So,
Before we move on, let me ask you a question about the Bret Hart Mr. Perfect match. Now, truthfully, I love the match. I absolutely do. But do you think that in history, when we look back in the ethos of especially SummerSlams, do you feel it's a little bit overshadowed by what Bret would do the following year?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is 100%. But I would also argue that it's rightfully so.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like people don't point to it or remember it as much because they're like, oh, SummerSlam and Bret Hart, we're going to talk about 94.
yeah.
You know
You
what I
mean
mean?
92?
Or, yeah, 92.
Yeah.
Well, here's a couple of things to keep in mind too when you're comparing the two. The SummerSlam 91 match was an undercard match. The SummerSlam 92 match was a main event, which then also means they had, I would say, at least double the amount of time.
In an arena that they were working for the very first time in history. Yeah.
With probably double the amount of fans, right? Yeah. So there's
Probably
a lot
triple,
of things
actually.
Well, there you go. A lot of stuff to consider when it comes to that. Also, I want to shout out the Virgil Ted DiBiase match for the $1 Million Championship. Another great feel good moment. How do you spell man? Virgil.
And just for the one person who listens to this show who listened to WrestleMania, and a shout out to Mr. Andrew Kent. And can I get a Wembley? That's exactly what I wanted. Moving on to my number 6. This has been alluded to already, and I feel like it was in a joking fashion. But let me preface this, because this is a match to peel the curtain back. Adam, you kind of let loose in our group chat your, I want to call it your
watch
short
list,
but not your short list, your watch list. Yeah. The show I'm about to talk about was not on that list.
Okay.
And I feel like this match gets this show gets a bad rap because of maybe outside controversies. But if you sit down and rewatch it, it's a really stellar show. It really is. And it was Matt's number 7. We're gonna go to WrestleMania 7 for my number 6.
I'm not mad at this pick.
I think
you're right. I think you're right. I think it gets unnecessarily shit on, and it's actually not a bad show.
There are some really good matches on it, and I'll go straight to where's I lost all my notes.
So obviously the retirement match.
Yes.
That's got to be the big
retirement
one, right?
match is the first one you're going to think of.
It's the best match on the show, no question. I think.
Although I know what Tyler says.
Well, I know that there's boo Tyler, boo.
Boo. I'm going to go to a quick a good second on this match though, or on this show. The Rockers versus Haku and the Barbarian.
I know. I was literally just about to say some people would argue that Rockers versus the Faces of Fear is actually the best match on the show, but
yes.
They're wrong, but they're not wrong by much.
And then the rest is just fun, man. My son loves the Nasties.
Yeah, Nasties and the Hart Foundation.
So to watch that match was fantastic. I love that match. And let's talk about the main event. It is good for what it is. It's not going to be a good match. Neither, you know what I mean? But
it's okay.
It's not. I don't love it, but it doesn't deserve the hate that it gets, I don't think.
I agree.
I think maybe not for like the in-ring work for what it was at the time for sure.
It's just unfortunate
This is
when
a
people
tough
think of
story
WrestleMania 7,
to.
when people think of WrestleMania 7, all they think about is, oh, it had to move venues because they couldn't sell it out, and they did this and did that, and apparently there's a bomb
Oh,
scare.
right.
People think of all that shit. They don't think of the really good matches that happen to be on that card.
I think if Slaughter and Hogan were swapped with Savage and Warrior,
Yeah.
people wouldn't be as hard on the Slaughter and Hogan match. It's
Completely.
because it was the main event, right? And there is a certain pressure that comes with being the main event of the biggest show of the year. There's an expectation and a standard that you are expected to keep. And I don't think that those two guys were able to pull that off. But I think, just on its own, like I said, it's fine.
And moving venues, here's your trivia, proved to be advantageous because it rained that day in Los Angeles, and not saying it would have been rained out, but it would have definitely dampened the show, pun intended.
So in 1993, we still get Samoa Joe in a parka or in a poncho.
I would like
Gorilla
to think
Monsoon, yeah, would have put a poncho
exactly.
on, yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on to number 5.
that's me, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all with a tear in my eye. This is the 5th greatest pay-per-view from the WWF between 1990 and 1994. Let's give a big one. Woo! Yeah, baby. I have to think that when you were talking about a one-show match that it killed you to leave off your list, this has got to be it, right? I couldn't do it, man.
Unfortunately, look, I was not fair to Flair.
I gotta tell you, this is a one-match card. It is 100%
because the undercard
card.
is complete fucking garbage.
And yeah, now hold on.
Come on, Adam. There's no
Orient Express and New Foundation is a solid tag team match, but the rest of it's pretty bad. Piper versus Mountie could have been better if it wasn't like 6 minutes.
Yeah. No, listen,
But look, you got the Beverly Brothers versus the Bushwhackers. You've got the Legion of Doom versus the Natural Disasters. You can't save the rest of this card. It
started off when I said I was going to do this list. My automatic number 1 was this show, because Royal Rumble '92 lives in my mind as just it's gospel, it's Bible to me. But it's only the match. It's not the entire pay-per-view. So then it went from my number 1 spot to my number 3 spot, from my number 3 spot to my number 5 spot to my number 7 spot, and then got kicked off. It didn't get kicked off until this morning.
So if I can still make an argument as to why I do think it belongs on this list.
Because like I said, I don't hate that it's on your list. I don't even hate the spot, because like I said, if you're going to justify a one-match card being on your list, it better be one of the best matches of all time. And it is the greatest Royal Rumble in history. I will die on that hill.
I think that a lot of people would. And here's the thing. We have a 5-match card, right? And the one match that is considered to be one of the all-time greatest, it's over an hour. So it's still, is more than half of that show.
That is a very good argument.
I'm saying from a math perspective, from a numbers perspective, this show is way more excellent than bad.
Let's get Scott Steiner's opinion on the math there, but
I read, like I said, I did some research and read some lists, and even on lists of best pay-per-views of the 90s, this one was on there. Now, I read some top 20 lists. I read some top 10 lists. This one was there.
The match itself looms so large that I think it is one of those exceptions that proves the rule. So there's a reason why it's number 5 and not higher on the list. but I still think the match is so significant and important and great that it does carry and elevate everything else around it to get onto the list. That's my argument for it.
Trivia for this one. I mean, everyone's gonna know this one, but one of only two times the match was for the WWF Championship. The only other
Yes,
time
sir.
was the 2016 event.
Which we don't talk about.
And I am also so glad that this didn't become the thing. I like the title shot for winning the Royal Rumble way more
Me too.
than winning the title. I'm
it means
so
more.
glad it didn't become that's the gimmick now.
So yeah, there's nothing much more to say because it makes me want to cry to talk about it more because
brings a tear to your eye.
Adam of all people, you know what this means, what Royal Rumble 92 means to me. But it just I'm going to stand by my decision just because of the following matches that we will continue to talk about. That's the only way I can justify this.
Well, let's hear it then. Let's hear
on
your
number five. I'm still debating here. My number 5 and my number 4 are so interchangeable because one of them is honestly a two match card.
Okay, but you better make a decision quick. We're live, pal.
And the other one is Tuesday in Texas.
Oh my God.
Okay, here's the I'm locking it in. It's going to be an unpopular decision, but I'm still locking it in because I have a feeling this is going to have a much better place on your list. But I'm still going to go with it. I'm going to SummerSlam 1992.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a great card. Number 5. Mm-hmm. All right. So what do you like about it?
Again, some of the it's not exactly a one match card because there are some other good matches. But when people think of this card, you're going to think of the main event. You're always going to think about an extremely inebriated British Bulldog going up against one of the greatest wrestlers of the era. And it was probably, at the time at least, if not still to this day, one of the greatest Intercontinental Championship matches in history.
No question.
I can still go back and watch that and say, this is like, wrestlers today should still go back and watch this match. So already the show has a good case to be on the list. Then you go on. I know the background, I know the stories, and you know that they weren't doing that great, but I really enjoyed the LOD on this show.
Yeah, them and Money Incorporated is a good match. I will not really argue. Like, trust me, you do not have to convince me to put this on the list. I'll rip another Band-Aid off and tell you that it is on my list. It's higher though on my list, clearly.
I wouldn't be surprised even if it was up towards your number 1. I wouldn't be, but this is.
But make no mistake about it. There are some
matches on here that I think people will make fun of me that I liked, but I liked. The Natural Disasters versus the Beverly Brothers is fun.
Which is, crazy. It's a crazy thing to say. You're a crazy person.
I am a crazy person, but I like it. Rick Martel and Shawn Michaels.
See, that one I'll get behind you on. That's a really fun matchup for sure. But like the make no mistake about it. Like I agree with you. It's list worthy, but this is also a one match card.
And I'm sure you want to talk about Crush versus Repo Man.
I mean, I'd much rather talk about how Virgil and Nails packed 80,000 people into Wembley, but
Crush versus Repo Man was the original gimmick battle royal.
I mean, there was only 2 guys in it, but hey, it still counts.
Matt, any trivia for this Wembley show?
Yeah. So when this was released on VHS, the US release only included 8 matches on the pay-per-view, but the UK release included all 11 matches, including the 3 dark matches. So those were Jim Duggan and the Bushwhackers against the Mountie and the Nasty Boys in a 6-man tag. Duggan and the Bushwhackers won. There was a singles match that went 6 minutes. Papa Shango defeated Tito Santana by pinfall. And then much later on the card, actually in a dark match to the lead up to the main event, He had Tatanka defeating the Berserker by pinfall in 5 minutes and 46 seconds. So
Now, I don't know what, because I did this one by memory. I didn't have time to go back and rewatch this one. I don't know if what Netflix has, but I remember the WWE Network for at least a while. They had the UK version, and you were able to watch all those matches as well. I don't know what Netflix has. I have to go back and check.
When they re-released this on DVD and Blu-ray in 2022, it had all of the events.
Interesting.
But my question is, do you really need to see Tatanka versus the Berserker? Is it really that important?
But I need to see Papa Shango and Tito Santana.
Of all the matches you listed as like bonus materials, that is the one match I'd be like, yeah, I'd watch that.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
Look, man, it is good, but let's be honest, it's all about Brett and Bulldog. And to be fair though, this may be one of the best one match shows in history.
Yes. I still don't call it a one-man show because I do think that Sean and Martel, I'll never poo-poo a fucking Martel match.
But a double count out probably isn't.
Which, by the way, I can't believe we didn't even talk. We were talking about WrestleMania 7. We even talked about the blindfold match.
No, we didn't.
God damn it, Adam.
And we didn't talk about Savage versus Warrior 2.
That's right. That's on this card.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? And it's for the championship.
This is what I'm saying is that's what makes it tough because like while Rumble 92 is a one match show with awful matches on the undercard, this is a one match show with one of the best main events of all time, and then okay to mediocre matches on the undercard is what I would say. I don't think there's anything else on that card that classifies as a very good to great match. Everything else is either good, like like I said, Martel Michaels, your Warrior Savage, the
obviously better than your number 5. So
I think so. Also,
yeah.
This one, I feel like you can read this list of matches and know what era you're in. Like this, like these are some of the top names up and down this card, with excluding Hogan. But like like if you just read these names off to me, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is late 80s, early 90s WWF show.
Like Paul Ellering and Rocco. Moving on to Adam's number 4.
Well, my last pick was Royal Rumble 92, and now I'm going to go into the show that followed that, man. I am going to go with WrestleMania 8, a personal favorite of mine and yours, Mike, I know for sure. One of the only events that I know Matt started watching at least, but I think gave up 10 seconds into it, he said.
Did you not ever finish this match?
Oh, I watched it.
Oh, okay, because it's such a clusterfuck of happiness. It makes me so happy.
Liked this show.
It's a great show. It is a tremendous show.
I'll never understand
if you could go back and reorder it in terms of like how you structure the card, you could do it a lot better.
Sure.
However, there's some great stuff. But again, so like when you're talking about best pay-per-views, the only thing that I think knocks us down is the fact that like it is a cluster just in the way it's presented, right? Sure. You get some real highs in that first hour, and then it kind of peters off a little bit, and then once Hogan comes out and the crowd gets going again. But like, I don't know, for me that first hour is awesome with Jake and Taker being like the second match, Tito and Shawn opening. The finish of that match kind of sucks. But
Tito tells a great story about that booger too.
and then obviously Brett and Piper. And then Macho and Flair. If that pay-per-view ended there,
this show has one of my favorite Bret Hart matches, one of, if not my all-time favorite Roddy Piper matches. But it's also got, in my estimation, Ric Flair's best WWE match.
This is great. There's some Gaga right? With
Well, yeah.
Perfect and those guys getting involved, and Miss Elizabeth coming down as well, and
I mean,
but
but that
it
that's
had
WrestleMania, man.
yeah
That's especially in this era,
that you're
and
right.
it kind of called for that, especially with the story they were telling, and it kind of needed that, and I love every minute of it. You're not wrong. I love this pay-per-view.
Elizabeth gets some receipts in afterwards as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Great moment.
I enjoyed this, man. I'm really glad I stuck through the first 10 seconds.
If I can also shine a light on three promos that I think are worth going out of your way to watch on this show. The first is the pre-match promo between Bret Hart and Roddy Piper, one that I can
Hmm.
probably quote word for word.
100%.
The second is the post-match Randy Savage promo where he rips his shirt off and talks about how he does not give a shit that he just became WWF champion. He's mad because he didn't get to beat up Ric Flair more, which is like mwah,
Yeah.
like just chef's kiss, so good. And then the third one is an incredibly racist promo from the model Rick Martel before his match with Tatanka. It's awful.
Yeah.
But I will fully admit it is something that me and my friend group quote back and forth to each other all the
Oh
time because it
no.
is so terrible that it is just etched in our minds forever. But Matt, I do want to quickly go back to what you had said previously because that is a big reason why this show does not rank higher for me. Bret Hart versus Rowdy Piper is my favorite match of all time. And every person I've tried to show wrestling to, that's the match I show them.
100%. Yeah.
Um, and Ric Flair versus Macho Man Randy Savage is one of my favorite matches of all time, too. So naturally, you would think, oh my God, two of the best matches ever. Why is it number 4 and not above? And I'll tell you why. Because of something you said, Matt. After uh, Macho Man
Macho.
and Macho Man and Ric Flair, this show takes a big nosedive and just like crashes. And whereas my number my number 5 previous to this one, the Royal Rumble 92, I could forgive it being a one match show because it had one of the greatest matches of all time with a pretty lousy undercard that took up over 2/3 of the event itself. 1 hour of a 3 hour card is the exact opposite end. And I can't in good conscience um, sit there and say that, like, well, those two matches override everything else on
Sure.
this card. But as I mentioned previously, that's also the same reason why I have to put SummerSlam 92 in my number 3 spot ahead of it, because the Bulldog Bret Hart match does eclipse from an objective standpoint. It eclipses everything else on this card from a match standpoint.
Sure.
So, that's kind of my reasoning for where it is. For those who are kind of horrified to learn that I would put WrestleMania 4 not in my top 3, but I do have what I feel is sound logical reasoning for it. So that's my
Well,
argument.
since you buried the lead and gave away your number 3, before I get to my number 4, I will say my number 3 is WrestleMania 8.
And again, like clearly I'm not going to fight you on that one tooth or nail. I can absolutely understand why. To me, my values were just a little bit different. That's all.
Yeah. Now, again, it might be a homer because like I said, I love 92 as a whole for wrestling. This is me in my pure fandom as a kid. And like I'm about 11 at this point, and I'm obsessed with professional wrestling. And I am glued to my TV every Saturday morning watching Sid Justice come out pissed off every week, beating the fucking hell out of some jobber, usually Dale Wolf, putting him in a stretcher and setting him out of there. I'm watching I'm watching Sid Justice tear apart the barber shop. You know what I mean? Things like this. This is the stuff that sticks in my mind. I'm watching Ric Flair talk about how she was my best before she was yours. This is the stuff. The build up to WrestleMania 8 is the stuff that sticks in my mind watching every week. So again, this might be a homer, this might be a heart pick, but it will stick as my number 3 because it is one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. Before we get to my number 4, we're doing things ass backwards here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why don't you guys? I didn't have any trivia for this because I actually watched this
Oh,
one.
okay. There you go. That was my
But
next question.
I also wanted to say, you guys talk about going back and professional, or people that want to get into professional wrestling should watch the Brett and Bulldog match. I also think the Taker and the Roberts match is just an amazing uh character study, and two guys who Undertaker was still learning who he was at that time, but I don't
And
think this
also
match,
freshly babyface too.
but that's what I mean. I don't think this match like made Taker, but you started to understand he was understanding what he was going to
Yes.
become, and
Yeah.
Roberts gave him everything.
Yeah,
Roberts
he was one of
allowed
the
him
only guys to not kick out of, but
not kick out of
no
it.
sell the DDT.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then even the second one, but it was also like Roberts understanding that like I can't just hit him with it and go cover with it because
No.
as Jake Roberts, no one kicks out of that. So I can take my sweet ass time.
Hmm.
And now I'm gonna have to actually go after Paul Bearer too, because Undertaker's down. He's down and out. Now I
Yeah.
can take my sweet ass time and go after Paul Bearer. And it's like, oh my god, he still got up. Like it's awesome, awesome,
I'll,
awesome, awesome.
I'll say this for the 2064th time on the show. Jake Roberts is the greatest psychology in the history of professional wrestling.
I would like to ask Matt his thoughts on the show since it is one of the ones he watched start to finish. And have you ever seen this pay-per-view before doing your research for this?
Yeah, so like my cousin had like one of those original box sets that had like WrestleMania 1 to 15, I think,
Sure.
like
Right.
all the VHSs. So yeah, we would get together and watch these, but like I probably have only seen this start to finish once prior to then watching it again this week.
So what are your thoughts on it now compared to
Love it.
back then? Was there
Love
stuff
it.
that was different for you this time
Yes,
around?
absolutely. Like I probably didn't like Taker and Roberts the first time I saw it because I was probably used to American Badass Taker more than I was
Sure.
to
It's
that
hard.
kind of
I
Undertaker,
suppose it's
right?
hard to go
Like,
back because I grew up with Taker
yeah.
from right from the beginning. So I always forget that people who were introduced to Taker in the 90s or even the 2000s have to go back and see
Yeah.
him walking slowly,
Yeah.
no emotion, purple or gray gloves, depending on what year it is. Uh, you know, it's a very, very, very different character.
It's
Now,
all yeah.
that's how I was introduced to the Undertaker. So it's interesting to me the people who have to go back and see that, and I always forget how much younger you are than me. So it's interesting. Was your introduction to the American Badass?
No, I had started watching just at the sort of end of his Ministry of Darkness days, like when I
Okay.
really first got into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ministry Undertaker, but he was also injured at that time. So it was
Sure.
like getting really into it when he was sort of injured. Then he came back as the American Badass, but it was also kind of catching up on like 1998, 99 stuff at the same time. So that
Mm-hmm.
was in that time frame there. But again, watching at that time, everything was faster. Everything was just brighter. There was way more Gaga. So for my cousin, who's like 3 or 4 years older than me, to be like, you got to watch WrestleMania 8, and everything just feels so much slower. As like a 9, 10, 11 year old, you're just kind of like, what is this? This is not WWF wrestling, right? Where's Austin? Where's the beer bath? Like,
Well, I'm
Interesting.
really glad that you enjoyed it a lot on your rewatch, sir. That's great
Me
loved
news
it.
too.
for
I'm
as a
catching up
genuine
to you
lover of
guys.
that one.
I will be 37 on Friday, so I'm catching up there.
You old son of a bitch. Well,
In a
since
row?
we've done our number
Yes.
threes, let's go to number four.
Recap
My
first.
number
Where are we
four.
at?
Well,
per-
Mike hasn't given his number 4. I'm all the way
Okay.
I
down to my
haven't done
number
my number
2.
four, and we're skipping number three because we know both me and Adam's number threes now.
Yes.
But my number four is WrestleMania 10,
Interesting.
and
I'm surprised this
Yeah.
one's at number 4, to be honest with you. Given I know how much you love a pair of those matches that are on this card.
that's where we are. Again, we were talking about one match, two match cards. This is a two match card. It just happens to be that those two matches 30 years later are still studied and looked upon as not only important but trainable matches. These are You want to learn how to do a ladder match? You're going to watch Sean and Razor before you watch anything else. You want to learn how to fucking tell a story in that ring? You're going to watch Owen and Brett. These are two of the greatest matches of all time. The rest of the card is fucking garbage, and I will die on that hill.
Okay. I don't necessarily
Listen.
I don't
know
necessarily
you love
agree
you
with
some
that.
heavenly bodies. I know it, but
No, I'm not even talking about that. Like, I would sit there and say that start to finish, WrestleMania 10 is a really watchable card from start to finish. It's a quick, breezy watch, and I think that there is a ton to love about this match. Now, yes, I will admit that the world title matches are nothing to write home about. Brett and Yoko is okay, but that's about it. And the Yoko Lex match, not great.
no.
But here's what I will say in defense of the rest of the card of WrestleMania 10. The mixed tag match, Luna Vachon and Bam Bam Bigelow versus Doink and Dink, is a great little popcorn match.
It's fun, yes.
Macho Man Randy Savage versus Crush is underrated and entertaining as all.
I don't enjoy it. I remember enjoying it as a kid. I like the whole the tie up spot and everything, but I don't know. Watching it as an adult, it just didn't do it for me again.
Well, you and Anthony Darko can share a cigar over that one, but I still go back to that one. I like it. I challenge anyone to go watch the Alundra Blaze Lalani Kai women's title match and tell me that it's boring or not a good watch from start to finish. That is a very, very good women's match.
Two of the best women's workers of that era. That's you're not going to get a bad match.
So, I mean, and then you have Men on a Mission versus the Quebecers. Okay. All right. Yeah. Earthquake versus Adam Bomb is not a bad match. I think that it's a very good little big man sprint. I think the big argument I have for WrestleMania 10 is that start to finish, it's a good show. Little bit of everything you could want from a carnival standpoint of like the circus mentality of a little something for everybody. And two of the most iconic matches in the history of professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's my argument for what makes this show amazing.
And it's a very, very valid argument. I'm assuming this is your 2 or 1 spot, and rightfully so. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to argue with it. I like my number 1 and my number 2 better for the reasons of the style of shows that I like. And that's what it comes down to at the end.
Well, we're going to have to find out what they are, because now my entire list has been revealed at this point in time. So y'all know what it is. Because I already said earlier, King of the Ring 93 is my number 2. So I can reveal now that, yeah, WrestleMania 10 is my number 1 pick for all the reasons I just mentioned. I just think
I'm very cool with that.
Top to bottom, like this, you can't beat this one when it comes to just a complete card. I think this one is the most complete.
So my number
Matt,
1
did you get around to watching this one?
I watched this one again. I remember watching this one. This one, WrestleMania 10 and WrestleMania 13 were ones that my cousin was like, out of anything in this box set, you have to watch. So I remember watching this one way back in the day.
Wait till we get to that next era, because when we talk about WrestleMania 13,
oh yeah,
man, do not talk shit about WrestleMania 13 in my house.
The kitchen sink.
But yeah, I remember liking this because I thought the ladder match was awesome, and I thought the Bret Hart matches were great, even back then, right? So,
did you say matches?
I liked that he beat Yokozuna.
Okay.
Right? Like,
feel good moment to end the night.
That's what I mean.
Sure.
Like watching it now, it's like
the only thing I like about it is Owen standing up on the stage.
What about
doing
me?
But it's part of it.
Raven?
Yeah, it's part of it.
Yeah. So the interesting thing
here's your trivia for this one.
Yeah.
First WrestleMania to not include Hulk Hogan, and also the last WrestleMania to include Randy Savage. Actually, his last televised match ever for WWF.
That's right.
Interesting. So what else is interesting is that both my number 1 and my number 2 did not make Adam's list.
Yeah.
Let's do a recap. Adam, run down your card again.
So at number 7, I have SummerSlam 1993. At number 6, I have SummerSlam 1991. At number 5, I have Royal Rumble 1992. At 4, I have WrestleMania 8. At number 3, I have SummerSlam 1992. At number 2, I have King of the Ring 1993, and my number 1 pick is WrestleMania 10.
Now, I'm not even going to attempt to justify these to anybody because at the end of the day, I picked these as my number 2 and my number 1 because when I sit down and watch these shows, this is the style and this is what I like about this era of wrestling. There's nothing more to say about it. There's nothing more fancy about it.
Eat the damn orange!
So starting with my number 2, I picked Survivor Series 1991.
Okay. All right, buddy.
Didn't make anybody's lists.
Put
It'll make Tyler's.
Get your briefcase out and really sell this to me.
I just love the card. The matches. I love the matches. I love the. There's just so much good stuff in there, man.
You love the Big Boss Man and the Legion of Doom versus.
I do.
Who did they even fight? I don't even remember.
I even loved Undertaker and Hulk Hogan. I think it's.
Oh, you got me, brother.
Wait,
the Nasties and the Beverly Brothers.
Oh, hang on.
You know,
listen to what you just said. Repeat what you just said and really listen to the words that came out of your mouth 10 seconds ago, Mike Walsh.
Everything. I think it's a phenomenal card. I love Survivor Series.
You want to talk about?
I love old Survivor Series.
You want to? Hey, listen. I had a Survivor Series match at my number 7, and I had to take it off because I realized I would lose some serious points by putting it on there, sir.
I bet it's my number 1.
You want to talk? You want to talk about one match shows? Oh my God, sir! One good match on this card, which is the Roddy Piper, Bret Hart, again, Virgil, showing MVP of 1991. And the British Bulldog taking on Ric Flair, Ted DiBiase, the Warlord, and I don't know who the other guy was. The Mountie, probably.
Mountie.
Yeah, okay, fun little opener, which ends in a schmoz and Ric Flair being the only guy not to get counted out. Only good match on this card. I'm flabbergasted. My gas.
You want to get more flabbergasted?
My
you
gas
haven't even heard my number 1 yet.
Sir. Oh my God!
I guarantee my number 1's the one you take off your list.
Also,
we're gonna go Survivor Series 1990.
I can't believe your number 1 is my number 7.
I love this pay-per-view. I absolutely love this pay-per-view.
Absolutely.
I love the concept of it. I love the I like chaos. This is nothing but chaos.
Well, this list sure is. I'll tell you that much.
Chaos. And I don't care. I'm going to stand by it. I stand by myself.
I took this off my list because I was like, I'm going to take so much heat for putting this on my list because looking at it, I was like, yeah, I cannot justifiably say that this is a top 7 card. And you're here sitting they're saying
it's the
Brett versus Owen, the ladder match.
I'm just
Piper
saying,
and Brett,
matches that I can watch all the way through.
We got the gobbledygooker to put over.
Matches that I can watch all the way through and not fall asleep through any of it. This is one of them.
You're gonna sit there. You're gonna fucking sit there.
I'm sitting there.
I am shocked that these beat WrestleMania 8. To be honest,
you're gonna fucking sit there
and King of the Ring 93.
The 10 minute.
Again, I'm not happy about my order, but I'm happy about my list. My order, I could just pull out of a hat.
Not only am I not happy with your list or your order, sir, I am angry about you putting Nikolai Volkov fucking punching and kicking his way through a slog with Sergeant Slaughter for 10 minutes.
My kind of wrestling, man. I enjoy it.
I will say, in the research I did, neither of those made any of the lists.
That's
for good reason.
I bet you both will make
I have nothing on these anywhere.
An absolute madman you are, sir.
Well, okay. I can't wait to get Tyler back on the show so he can have my back.
No way he has your back on this. No way he has your back on this.
I bet for 91 he will. I know he has a soft spot for 91.
Well, no, I can't. It's not. No, 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 no.
But hold on. I'm gonna go look. He sent me in no particular order. He sent me his 7. This is not order. Survivor Series 1990, WrestleMania 7, Royal Rumble 1992.
I didn't put that one on my list
8.
either. 90s or WrestleMania 7.
What's that?
I didn't put WrestleMania 7 on my list either, though.
SummerSlam 92, Mania 10, and Survivor Series 1991. Those are his top 7.
God, you're both so wrong. You're both so wrong.
And this is why we're promoting shows together.
Gross. Just if I swear to God, if you hatch the Wrecking Crew out of an egg at this show in front of all those children,
you would pay so much money to see it.
No, I would walk out of there. I would hook that jungle gym up to a chain and drag it down the street while the children cried running behind it. I would be so mad.
Well,
oh my
God. We might
God.
not see Tyler on the show for a couple of weeks, but I'll tell you where we will see him. We will see him in Belgrave, Ontario.
Hold on one second. No. Before you shill, I want you to just sit with this thought. When you do your top 7 list of the greatest WWF/E pay-per-views of all time, Survivor Series 1990 is gonna be in one of those spots, and you are gonna have to explain yourself. And I just want you to know that, and I want you to sleep with that, and want you to know that is your reality, sir.
Wait till we get to 95 to 99.
I want to tell you something. I also want to state for the record.
You're gonna have to cut that down. There's no way.
I also want
to. You can do like 95 to 97.
Well, no, we're doing it in 5-year spurts.
Oh God.
I want to say this, okay?
That's gonna be way too hard.
I don't want to give anyone the impression that I hate Survivor Series 1990. I love Survivor Series 1990. It's one of the
fucking sound like it.
No, it's one of the pay-per-views I grew up watching. I love it. But for this list and to be at number 1, my God, sir. That's I will quote David. I will quote David from Schitt's Creek and just say, my God, that is my reaction to that.
Well, the only show that I can tell you right now would be better than Survivor Series 1990.
Hold on. Matt the Stat has some information for us. Let Matt the Stat give his details, please.
Prior to Survivor Series 1990, Mr. Perfect had won the Intercontinental Championship from the Texas Tornado. However, due to the match getting taped and scheduled for airing after Survivor Series, the WWE had to keep that secret. And the Tornado walked into Survivor Series with the IC title and was still considered the champion, with no mention of the title change taking place.
Also, fun fact, before I came on this episode, my blood pressure was in a very safe 153 range, and now I think it's back up to 180 or so.
And it's not the Coke Zero.
No.
May I make some money now?
Yes, go ahead, please, chill.
Belgrave, Ontario, June 14th, Rumble for the Jungle Gym. Get your tickets. The link's right here. Please go click on that. We've already told you all the matches. There's more matches to be announced. There's more surprises to be announced. We have said on social media by now that a international superstar has reached out to us and asked for a spot in the card. We don't have one, and he said he's showing up anyways. I don't know what's going to happen. So keep look on all our social medias. That's at CountItOut7 everywhere you go. There's going to be updates every couple days. Get your tickets. Be there in Belgrave, Ontario. Until then, over the next couple weeks, that's only like 2.5 weeks from now. Until then, Tyler is again still in sabbatical. I will have a special guest. I don't know if it's next week or the week after. Depends when I drop the show. But I will be joined for a one-on-one chat with the world's strongest man. No, not him. The original world's strongest man, Mr. 705 himself, Ted Arcidi, is going to join me right here. We're going to get some really good, I got some really good questions about his history in strongman competitions, moving over to the WWF, moving over to Stampede and WCCW. Very interesting man. If you've ever listened to his interviews on shows like our good friend Braun with Billingtons or over with Jerry Briscoe, he's got some very cool stories. So I can't wait to talk to Ted.
Are you going to ask him about having a very underrated LJN figure?
I'm 100% going to be asking about his LJN figure. That's sort of what inspired me to reach out to him. He right now kind of went viral for going out and saying he put out a picture of him posing with his LJN saying, hey, if anybody wants this autograph, send me a message. Send me this LJN to this address. He put his personal address and he says, do not send money. He's doing signings and then sending it back to people, paying his own postage just to be a nice guy. Now, listen,
Wow.
I get it. He doesn't, there might be some fans that don't know who Ted Arcidi is, and you're going to make fun of me saying, or not you, but some people are going to make fun of me saying, yeah, but he's Ted Arcidi. Who cares? He's Ted Arcidi. And I think people are going to care after they listen to my interview with him. I want people to care. I'm excited about my interview with Ted. I really am.
You should be, man. The dude's a legend. That's why, like, I'll never make fun of you for interviewing a performer of his caliber, for God's sakes. I mean, I'll make fun of you for putting Survivor Series fucking 1990 at the top of this list, but not for interviewing Ted Arcidi. That's for sure.
Didn't he have the original, like, was it bench press record or the deadlift record or something like that?
He was the first man ever to bench over 700 pounds.
Man.
He benched 705 pounds. Don't ask me the year. I have it all written in my notes for the interview.
Yeah.
But
doesn't matter. I don't care what year it is. You bench 700 pounds. You're a goddamn beast.
He was the first man ever to bench over 705 pounds. And then he was the first man ever to break his own record at 718 pounds.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts.
Very, very strong man.
It's a baby elephant.
And then, of course, Vince knew money when he saw it, right? He gets him in, and then starts putting him up against his own strongmen, because he had Ken Patera, who was the world's strongest man. He had Dino Bravo, who was one of the world's strongest men. He had Tony Atlas, so he's putting him up against all these guys, which was phenomenal.
This sounds like a future list.
It really does. Not a bad idea at all.
Top 7 world's strongest men in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like it a lot. It all starts either next week or the week after. We'll see when it gets released, with my exclusive interview with Ted Arcidi, Mr. 705 himself. I can't wait to talk. I love talking some world class, right? I can't wait to talk. Do you guys know? I'm going to talk about this. Do you know about the stable he was in world class? He's in the weirdest stable ever.
It does escape me, if you care to enlighten.
It's him, Rick Rude, Cactus Jack Manson, the Dingo Warrior. The 4 of them, all managed by Percy Pringle in world class.
Okay.
None of that made sense until you said Percy Pringle. Oh, okay, I get it.
Number one, I can't wait to get some Percy Pringle stories out of this man, but holy shit, I can't wait to ask him about that stable. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
And there's matches out there I've seen on YouTube. Tyler sent me one. He had a tag team partner in WCCW for a while by the name of Texas Red.
Would he later get another nickname called Booger Red?
A couple nicknames. Yeah. So very interesting. I can't wait to talk to him. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, anyways, plug your shit. Where's Rock Solid coming up?
Well, so good that you asked, Mike, because this Saturday we are in Sterling at the Sterling Rodden Arena for Sterling Showdown. Daddy Davis puts his title on the line once again against Anthony Darko. Rumor has it that the Rock Solid Wrestling Championship Committee says this is his last opportunity for the championship, so he better make this one count. We also have Sydney West taking on Casey Spinelli and Cody Deaner. Mr. Giver himself is going to be taking on the man with the golden arm, Zach Prescott. Going to be the biggest challenge for the young rookie sensation he's ever faced. And then, of course, 1 week later in Collingwood, June the 6th, it is Wrestling Night in Collingwood 13, the biggest night of the year for Rock Solid Wrestling, featuring the Lucky 13 Battle Royal. 13 participants, a one shot at the Canadian heavyweight champion, whomever they may be. And it's going to be an incredible night. Of course, both shows raising money for Special Olympics. The one in Sterling Showdown, is raising money for the Belleville Quinte West Special Olympics. And in Collingwood, it is for Special Olympics Ontario. Please come out and support us. You can get your tickets right now for both events at rocksolidwrestling.ticket.ca. That's rocksolidwrestling.tickit.ca.
Beautiful. Matt, how about them Blue Jays?
Well, they won tonight, so that's a good thing.
Sure did.
Woo!
Jays,
Go Jays, go.
What's with 8? They're like, okay, the Marlins got 8 last time. Let's get 8 this time.
Yeah, that's how baseball works. We
That's how
give you
baseball
some,
works, yeah.
we get some of our own. We get our receipts. Yeah, no, that's yeah, it's not the season people were expecting coming off the World Series. They've had a lot of injuries and just can't get anything going consistently. They're coming off a weekend where they were 2 games under 500. And it's like, man, if they can get this one against the Pittsburgh Pirates, they'll be a game back. Then they'll go into the series against the Marlins, and maybe they'll get on a roll here. And then Vladdy Guerrero gets hurt, and then their best pitcher Dylan Cease gets hurt. And it's like, well, I guess they're not getting to 500 anytime soon. So, but you know what? A big win today, and yeah, hopefully they get on a roll. But 1.16 million views on Jay's Journal as of today. So once again into the 1 million view mark. Thank you to all the Jays Journal readers out there. It's been awesome, and keep riding this wave with us.
If you guys want a great place to start, I highly recommend one of Matt's latest articles where he talks about how where Springer goes, so does the Jays, and it's a really great read. You guys should check that one out.
Yeah,
he's Swinger.
Springer.
Oh, I'm like Johnny Swinger.
He's Swinger has a problem.
That's today's Shawn Michaels. If you ask Tyler,
that's right. And if I can shill one more thing,
absolutely.
Troops Trio will be live at the Slush Puppy Pet Place in Kingston, Ontario for the OHL draft. June 12th. We will be going live.
That is huge, man.
That's very cool.
So this year they're bringing all the prospective prospects into the arena. So they're doing the draft like it's the NHL draft. Mm-hmm. So the arena is going to be full with OHL or OHL hopefuls.
Yeah.
And we will be brought. So we won't have the main feed. Kojiko and Rogers will still have the main feed of the guys going up on the stage and the GMs making the announcements of who they picked. But then we will get some players coming over to our table live. We will mostly be focusing on battalion picks, but we will also be updating people on the draft as the draft is going on right from the Slush Puppy Place in Kingston. So,
not to mention, I'm sure the great analysis you guys are always do. Is it going to be the whole team going to be there?
Yeah, the whole team's going to be there.
Man, crazy.
We have been studying. There's like we have a document that has like 500 prospect profiles in there. So
wow.
Because the league now allows players to sign with the NCAA, or they've made that agreement, before you weren't allowed to. You either had to pick playing major junior in North America or picking the NCAA route. Now that's not a thing. You can play Major Junior and then still go play NCAA. So that's opened up a whole boatload of more people that could be drafted. So it's a lot more homework for guys like us now. So
Knowing that you have that much to study, I feel bad because I feel like at some point during the show they're going to be like, "Tell us about this hot prospect, Matt," and you're going to be like, hey, did you guys ever watch Roddy Piper versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 8? Banger of a match."
I can
And
tell.
then you're
Don't sleep
might
on
happen.
Survivor Series 1990, guys.
Don't
It might
you
happen.
dare, you don't dare say that.
Well, once again, thank you guys for joining us. Go check out all those shows that we just talked about. I'm going to be throwing in links to both Troops Trios and Jay's Journal right downstairs. And might as well throw in some ticket links if there's any tickets left to the Sterling Show. And until we see y'all again, you have been counted out.
Cheers.
cheers.